All righty. Thank you all. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Let me call back the 8:30 docket. It's already going to be 10 o'clock. C-3106-20-L. Priscilla Champa versus Doctors Hospital at Renaissance. Mr. Moya, good morning again. I see Ms. Champa is on the screen. Good morning, Mr. Aliceda. Don't know where Mr. Alvarez is and why he is not present. It is now 9:55 a.m. and he is not present. Ms. Champa, or have any of you heard from Mr. Alvarez?
Zeke, we have not, Judge.
Your Honor, we might be able to avoid certain things. I mean, I think the hospital is certainly amenable to certain things, and I'll let Mr. Moya speak on behalf of the hospital.
We were saying, you're on mute, ma'am.
Sorry, I haven't heard from Mr. Alvarez, or I actually heard about this through Facebook, and I called his office this morning and they don't know where he is either.
Mr. Moya was about to say something on behalf of the hospital. Go ahead, Mr. Moya.
Yes, Judge. Over the last several weeks, the DHR nurses and physicians have been working tirelessly around the clock to try and get GianCarlo transferred home. And the biggest challenge in doing so, Judge, if you don't already know, GianCarlo has been declared brain dead. He requires ventilator support. He requires nutrition support. And in order to do that, you need to have trained and skilled and licensed staff to be able to do that, and medical equipment. Three of the requirements we had previously spoken to Mr. Alvarez regarding what is required in order to ensure the safety and well-being of GianCarlo, and they included a physician that agrees to provide the continuity of care for GianCarlo at home, a ventilator and the certified personnel required to maintain and monitor that equipment, and lastly, the removal of chest tubes. I think that we have resolved two of those, and the chest tubes have been removed. The GianCarlo is being monitored for any complications, and it appears that there have not been any. And the ventilator, we are still pending approval from Medicare and Medicaid for a ventilator, but DHR is willing, if available, to loan a ventilator as a stopgap measure. And so the biggest challenge that we have currently that we're trying to tackle is identifying a physician that will agree to care for the continuity of care for GianCarlo at home. Dr. Martinez from the hospital has been working hard to make that happen. He has been in contact with one physician who has potentially agreed to take care of GianCarlo post transfer. However, it's conditioned on being able to identify either an intensivist or a pulmonologist that can also assist with the care. And so we think that by Wednesday of next week, we may have a solution.
Okay. Well, it seems that you are working on getting him discharged as requested to another physician. So the agreed order expires tomorrow. I know Mr. Alvarez isn't here to urge his motion, but it seems that the hospital is willing to wait till next Wednesday. Should we just simply extend the order to next Wednesday and set a status conference for Wednesday morning?
I think that would be fine, Judge.
Ms. Chapa, please let your attorney know he needs to be here Wednesday. He needs to be present. I will set a hearing at 11 a.m. next Wednesday. That's September 30th. In the meantime, as Mr. Moya has indicated, the hospital will continue to work with you on making the safe transfer possible. So there's really nothing that the court needs to do at this time. However, I do want to put on the record that last week I had a telephone conference with the attorneys. after you, Ms. Chapa, tried to contact me through Facebook, and you probably just wanted to make sure that you're heard. You just want to make sure that your attorney is the one that needs to contact the court. I just told him that he needed to admonish you and advise you what the rules are. I, however, did not mean any disrespect by not responding to your messages, just so you know. I didn't even read them, quite honestly, because it's inappropriate.
I
For the-
didn't send anything. I
Okay.
tried to reach out, but I understand where it was wrong, but me as a desperate mother, I just wanted to be heard, like you say. I asked for feedings for Gian. Gian hasn't been fed in over 14 days.
That's something that that your attorney is going to be talking with the hospital about. So I just wanted to just remind you about that admonishment, and which I made to the attorneys last week in a telephone conference. I want to make sure I'm transparent, and I'm putting that on. That's why I'm putting that on the record. So at this time, then, there's nothing for the court to do. We'll wait for next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Please advise Mr. Alvarez to be present at that time. Anything else, Mr. Moya?
No, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Chapa, is there anything else?
I would just really like, since the whole purpose of the court in the first place was to get my son to be fed or given him the medical attention. He hasn't been giving his nutrients. He's on sugar water. That's what he's on. And I was advised by Dr. Martinez that he could go up to 5 to 10 days on that, and then he would need nutrition. I've tried asking politely, like, myself, without attorneys or anything, if they could please just give him nutrients enough for me to just get him out of here. I'm not asking for surgeries or anything. Just give him nutrients like every person deserves. He's losing a lot of weight. The last time I checked, he's lost about 14 pounds since the hearing. He's losing weight because all he's getting is sugar water. That's all he's getting. No medications, no nothing. Just the dextrose, which is sugar water. I mean, when a doctor tells me dextrose is nutrition, I'm going to believe them because that's their job. That's a doctor telling me. It's like, if you tell me the law, of course I'm going to believe you, because that's your profession. You studied that. I didn't. But it just seems to me like, as everything that, I've asked for, or everything that they've answered me has been deceiving, because I don't have the knowledge. Of course I don't have the knowledge, but I'm coming to them like, please, he's losing 14 pounds and he's still hanging in there, and he's still very strong, and he's still showing a lot of improvement. And not even like that will they want to give him his nutrition. That's all I'm asking for, nutrition, so he can handle the transfer wherever I take him home. I don't want to take him home like this, and then nobody wants to. The reason why I'm having a hard time is because there's no orders for nutrition from here. So nobody's going to take him in like that, because there's no nutrition being administered in here.
Thank you, Ms. Chapa. Mr. Moya, response, if you have one.
I do, just briefly, Your Honor. My understanding, speaking with the physicians, is that GianCarlo is being provided dextrose because, based on his medical diagnosis of brain death, that is all that his body can tolerate. If TPN or something more substantive as far as subsistence goes, that may cause respiratory issues, cardiac arrest. And so the benefits of giving something other than dextrose actually increases the risk of a bad outcome for GianCarlo.
Ms. Chapa, I need to leave that decision to doctors. If you have any experts, any medical providers, your attorney can bring. He has the opportunity to bring them to court, and we can talk about that. But at this time, I don't, like you said, I know the law. I don't know medicine. So I don't know what's the best course of treatment in this case. The only thing that I have before me is what the doctors are saying and what Mr. Moya has just represented to the court. So you need to need to talk to Mr. Alvarez about this
Right.
and how to proceed. But
I-
at this time, the court can't do anything concerning about that.
I actually got a doctor that's out of DHR to, I asked them, hey, can he be on, giving his medical records and everything, can he be on TPN? And the thing is that they had told me he can't be on TPN because he's not digesting it. After they cut him off of TPN, he did 4 bowel movements. He was able to go to the restroom. And that's what they were concerned about. So when I said, hey, he went to the restroom, you said that was an issue. Like, can we put it back on? And they're like, no, we can't. And I said, why? And they just said, because we're not going to feed a dead person. There was
I
no.
understand. I understand, Ms. Chapa, but I need competent evidence. I can't make a ruling on just the arguments you're making, and Mr. Alvarez will be able to guide you on how to do that. So it's important that you get a hold of him to talk about that. At this time, I can't order anything. I don't have anything to base an order on. The law simply does not allow me to do that at this time. So, but in the meantime, the hospital has already informed the court on their continuing efforts to ensure that they can try to do what they can to make that transfer by next Wednesday. So the order will be extended till then. It'll expire at 11:59 on Wednesday to allow them to do that. And we'll have a hearing on a status hearing to see what it is that needs to get done, if anything at all, at 11 a.m. So I wanted to make sure you got that opportunity and that you got a response from the hospital, Ms. Chapa, on the record. All right. There being nothing further, you're excused at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.